Dr. Bedi, General Singh, my friend Maruf Raza, Mr. Ramchandran. The time has come for this idea to be adopted. I promise you that at the end of my slides, if you don't believe that this idea is what I am proposing is the correct idea, then I have done my job. CCTV, the community eyes of the police from failure to success. And success it shall be. Just remember one thing, that CCTV is only as good as the man behind the camera. And while we accept that today we are surrounded by cameras world over, whether they are installed by governments, whether they are installed by commercial establishments, are they giving you, are they effectively the eyes of the police? Unfortunately not, or not enough. And at the end of my presentation, you'll realize that there is very little to be done to make this from a failure to a success. So let's see how this new technology, which we've developed, very proudly made in India, is going to change video surveillance as we know it. There are millions of cameras world over. They say China has 100 million cameras and so does the United States. 100 million cameras. Which means that there is so much information that's being copied, that's being covered by cameras. But sadly, it's not discovered. It's hidden. Because if it was discovered, then crime wouldn't take place in areas at least which are covered by cameras. That makes me make this statement that CCTV by itself is not enough. It's only the starting point. Because if CCTV was indeed enough, then I'm going to give you some high-profile cases related to this country and how did they happen. Everybody knows about this case that took place, unfortunate incident that took place in Goa with our minister, where the camera was not at fault. Somebody just changed the angle of the camera to focus on the changing room. That's all. The camera was in its place. And it was not monitored for over 1 year. If CCTV is indeed enough, then in the corporate espionage case right here in this city, in the petroleum ministry, how did the leakages happen? Very simple. They bribed the CCTV operator who put off the CCTV cameras, photocopies were made and cameras were put on again. Kis kaam ka? We've seen unfortunate incidents at schools, molestation, rape cases in schools, all covered by cameras. Yet these ghastly incidents took place. And please see this particular case, that when they tried to recover the footage, they realized that the recorder itself was not recording. In order to change the hard disk of a recorder, all it needs is to open up the recorder, which is 6 screws, replace the hard disk, and your evidence is gone. See what the parents are saying. We want CCTV footage to be checked every day. In this case, again very close to this city, an entire ATM was lifted by the perpetrators. It was covered by cameras. This ATM was 200 meters away from a police station, but the perpetrators knew that the cameras were not working. Finally, one more case, not high profile, but this is what happens all the time. In this case, there was a jeweler, they killed him, took his gold, and also ran away with the recorder. So many police people here tell me, how will the police get evidence? So moral of the story is that CCTV is not enough. And all you need to do is just 3 things to make it work. 1. Review CCTV daily. Yes, 24 hours is what I recommend. See it. There are smart ways to see CCTV. Back up CCTV smartly so that you don't have a case where somebody tells you, oh, well, you know what? Our recorder only records for 7 days. Our recorder only records for 3 days. Our recorder only records for 1 month, because there's no standard set by the industry. But if you do a smart backup, which our technology will do for you, you can have this backup forever. And please report incidents in a standardized format. I had the opportunity of presenting a paper to Interpol that incidents do not differ by geography. A bomb blast in India is no different from a bomb blast in Singapore or the United States. A murder is a murder, a theft is a theft. In which case, why doesn't the world adopt one global standard of an incident report, which is built in PowerPoint, with every bit of information that is required for the police and useful for the police, so that that PowerPoint can be shared across the state with 1 click. And before the perpetrators of the crime board the train, there are much higher chances of them getting caught. Besides, these incident reports should deliver intelligence to you. There is a lot of information hidden in incidents. They should be able to tell you, using historical data, what type of incidents are taking place on what days, what area, what location. That allows you to take corrective and preventive action. And if you don't do this, this is what the situation is going to be like. That you have a gun without bullets. CCTV, without the 3 things that I'm recommending, is just like a gun without bullets. You just got cameras. So let's look at why doesn't anybody review CCTV? And I don't blame you. 24 hours of data. How do you expect somebody to see 24 hours of data? But what if those 24 hours of data can be reduced to minutes? If you can see 24 hours of data as a standard operating procedure and review it in minutes, you will start looking, and you will start discovering, and you will start discovering things that you thought were all right. You will start discovering that your guard who's supposed to be there, simple case, your guard who was supposed to be there is not there. You will begin to see that your guard who's supposed, you're paying him not to sleep, is sleeping. You'll discover in terms of a school that that little kid should not be on this floor is there. Things have changed. There is technology available today, and I'm very proud to introduce COM-SUR, which is a software that we built. And the name COM-SUR comes from 2 words, complete surveillance, because we believe that the way CCTV is today is incomplete, and COM-SUR will complete surveillance. What COM-SUR is? A software. Just load it on a Windows machine, bring in the video feed to the Windows machine as you normally do, and COM-SUR starts converting the video into screenshots and stores them at a remote location. At the same time, it takes those screenshots and shows you in a very, very effective time-lapse manner hours of video in minutes. And that is what I'm proposing, that you should review CCTV as a standard operating procedure. With the wonderful integration now that we've had with YouTube, you can now watch your video, not real time, because real time anybody can do it, and I'm not a proponent of real time, but you can watch what's happened in the past on your private YouTube channel anywhere in the world on any device. So since I spoke about real time, and I want to tell my friends here from the police department, that you spend crores. Yesterday I had the opportunity of meeting, day before yesterday, meeting our Chief Minister when he inaugurated the Mumbai Police first phase of the CCTV surveillance project. Nothing wrong in it, great thing to do, but everybody is only following one straight line. Bring in all the video feeds to a command and control center and everything is done. No, it's not going to work. And why will it not work? Because there is something called video blindness. In 19 minutes, the man, the operator who's watching CCTV becomes 45% blind. In 44 minutes, he becomes 95% blind. And guess why? Because he is not watching a Salman Khan film. He's watching things happening. So therefore, along with real-time surveillance, post-facto surveillance is extremely, extremely important. You must know what happened maybe 1 hour ago, 2 hours ago, 3 hours ago, but you must inculcate and encourage post-facto surveillance. People will talk about video analytics. This is a big buzzword. Oh, we'll send alerts, we'll send you SMS. Which camera will tell me? Which camera will tell me that that little kid that's being led by a potential rapist on the 5th floor, 6th floor of his school is not the father of that child, but a potential rapist? Which analytics are going to work? They won't work. I am not undermining video analytics, but they come with a lot of baggage. And everybody can't afford video analytics, and everybody doesn't need video analytics. Because you need specialized cameras, you need specialized software, you need to spend so much more money, and believe me, I've heard this from the Delhi police themselves, that sab chalta nahi hai. They spent so much money, I won't name the company, and they said, finally they said at the end of the day, sab, what they promised us is not working. They talk about facial recognition. But you need to have a database. Criminals are changing every day. So how are you going to get facial recognition for everybody? Are you going to consider everybody to be a potential criminal and use the Aadhaar database to recognize somebody? You can't do that. So, please think of this new paradigm and much ignored paradigm called human analytics. God gave you and me a computer between our ears and a pair of eyes. Use them. I was speaking to General Singh that at the border between India and our enemy, at night, when you have the heat sensing cameras that don't show you who the enemy is, it's the man behind the gun who decides whether he should be taking a shot at the enemy or is he a fellow Indian soldier. Please remember that cameras have lenses. Humans have eyes. Use them. Paris, does anybody know or can anybody predict what's next? So for those of you who heard Prime Minister Cameroon, he was very clear. He said, community surveillance is the need of the hour. You must have community involvement. And the UK is one country that encourages this. There are cases where the police has paid people to actually watch CCTV. I'm going to take it even one step further. Why doesn't the government even consider giving tax breaks to those who give these kind of services? This is a great skill development opportunity, because what you need for surveillance is not an MBA degree. You don't need to be an IIT graduate. You can be an 8th standard, 10th standard girl, boy, whose only interest is to find out the situational awareness that is needed. They should know what to look for and report. Incentivize it. Maharashtra is coming out with the Maharashtra Internal Security Act. I'm sure many other states will follow. Andhra Pradesh already has it. That in the coming days, malls, temples, schools, and even private buildings will be responsible for their security. The police cannot do it. The idea is to make all stakeholders responsible. And Mumbai police, I must commend them, has already begun this by bringing in school students, involving them to see if there's something going amiss around their schools, and then go and report it not to the police but to the principal. Finally, how is COM-SUR going to help the police themselves? And you probably have seen that there is a paper on your desk where I've written this small note. Please do take a look at it, because this is one product which is a very simple to use product that will help you in more ways than one. It is the single force multiplier across our nation. We all know that all our states have their own policing policies, but this can be the one single platform that can be useful to every state of India. It's like using Windows. It's common. It's like using MS Office. It's common. COM-SUR can be that common problem solver for the Indian police force, or for that matter, for the global police force. So you will see from law and order to chain snatching to bomb blast, traffic management, prison management, forensics, sharing photos of terrorists, missing children, stolen cars. COM-SUR will be that one technology that will help you to bring in standardization and efficiency in your work. This is a very interesting case, and this is something that you should know about. Two cases, the Boston bomb blast case and the Toronto riot case. And this is very similar to a chain snatching case. You know why? Because what is common in these cases is there's no direct CCTV coverage. So when a thing like this happens, the police has to depend on the community for video. Everybody's got a video today in their hands. So what the police has to do is they have to go around the street and go and collect videos from various establishments, only to realize, to their horror, a standard problem saying, "Oh, sir, but our camera was not working." Murphy's Law. And why was it not working? "Sir, we don't check." And since how has it not been working? "Oh, sir, we don't know." What happens? It takes more time. But coming back to how this technology can help in such cases is, in the Toronto riots case, believe me, the police had to see 40,000 hours of video from various sources. Just imagine that flight to aggregate a couple of frames from here, and a couple of frames from here, and a couple of frames from here. Put it all together in a sensible PowerPoint document and share it across the country. This technology will help you do it. This technology will very quickly help you to make these kind of lists. So imagine that there is a red alert from Interpol. The IB gets it here. The IB has to send it out to all the states of India. Quick action. You should be able to collect this information and quickly share it. It should be standardized, and it should be in a format that can be opened on your smartphones. And every police officer today has a smartphone. This software will make it in a Word document, the click of a button. Finally, something very interesting. If you look up CCTV signages, I've got just 6 here. If you just Google it, you'll find 600. Why can't the world have one standardized signage like this? See the difference in the messaging. One says you are under CCTV surveillance. The other says we check CCTV every day. Imagine the plight of a potential thief or somebody who wants to create trouble. When he sees this sign, he's going to think twice. He says, Until now I was all right, even though this establishment had cameras, they never caught me. But now I'm sure to be caught. Even if you don't check, he doesn't know that. This sign is good enough. Finally, here is where I need your help. ISI has asked IM operatives to desecrate shrines in India. And you can imagine, sir, we had this incident in Punjab recently. And you can imagine that if there is one incident that takes place in a mandir, or one incident that takes place in a church, the repercussions can be across the country, and the repercussions in various types of stories can be across the world. So therefore, because we believe that somebody up there chose us and gave us the idea to make this technology, we want to give it back. We want to offer our technology for free to every place of worship in the world. And since you are the influencers, you can help us take it there. You can help us and help us bring communities together and say, just install this software and see what it can do for you. I'd also like to end by saying that this is a proudly made in India product. It's a product that will help work from Swachhata to Surakshata. 1,000 years ago, Aryabhatta gave Shunya to the world. I think that instead of India just being a follower when it comes to using technology from elsewhere, I think India this time can offer this technology to the world. So we can have from Shunya to Surakshata, Bharat ki or se. In conclusion, I'd like to say, act now, don't wait for things to go wrong. Thank you very much.